Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Mark My Words, interviews with remarkable people. And my remarkable person today is Alicia Valdes. How you doing today, Alicia?
Very good. Thank you, Mr. LaCour. It's an honor to be here. So you're just as remarkable, and I appreciate being here.
Stop the Mr. LaCour. It's just Mark. We're going to have a friendly conversation. So we found each other on LinkedIn. I got to know your organization a little bit and what you're doing. And bottom line is, you're helping make this world a better place. Can you kind of talk about it? Like, what's the name of your organization, and tell them what you do?
Absolutely, yes, definitely. So I am Alicia Valdes. I'm the president and CEO of Global Eco Army, Navy, Air Force, and Space Force. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization based out of Tampa, Florida. Here is where our office is headquartered. And but we have an outreach globally in 12 countries, to be precise, up until today's date. And we've been open for 4 years. We look for many more years to go, and hopefully reach out to all 200 countries that are on our planet, because we're all part of the pollution, so we can all be part of the solution, you know.
Yeah, but let's get right to it. You are planting trees, but you're planting trees on a level that probably a lot of forestry companies would be struggling to do. So let's talk about the movement, the money, the tree planting, the countries, all this sort of stuff, because it's a wonderful thing that you're doing.
Yes, it's like 3 full-time jobs for everybody, actually. Everybody needs to be involved at any scale that they can. And so far, we've been very honored and privileged to have the support of many Fortune 500 companies, such as Home Depot and Lowe's and State Farm and Starbucks and Outback and Target and Amazon. So I am very, very thankful to have the backup and support of such big companies. And for the longest time, they've been around with us from day one. They were in every single small and medium and large event that we've had up until today. We've done all types of events, not only planting trees, we're also doing cleanups of rivers, lakes, oceans, by boat, on the land, on the sea, everywhere. So this is a huge undertaking. That's part of the Global Eco Navy, but with the Global Eco Army, Home Depot has been extremely supportive by giving us grants for trees and the buckets and shovels and gloves, and same with Lowe's. Even though they're competitors, they're together as a team to save the world.
Love it.
So that's what we bring unique to the table, because everybody that has any kind of rivalry here, they become friends, because it's in the best interest of all to do something good for all of us. You know, we have the common denominator: oxygen, clean food, clean water, right? We all need it to survive.
Yeah, and everybody wants a clean world to live in, right? Nobody wants to damage the planet or the environment, the ecosystem. Unfortunately, we've done it as a species.
Yes.
However, we have the ability to mitigate a lot of that damage. A lot of the world has been deforested. I mean, if you don't know this, Europe used to be covered with forest, and now they're practically all gone. You have the tragedy of what's going on in Brazil and in Africa, where the rainforests are being cut down. It's just a mess. But
The
one of the
rivers
things
are drying up.
Yeah, and one of the things I love about what you're doing, though, you don't just get a bunch of volunteers and a bunch of trees and just go plant them. You're running this as a business to the point that I believe you even pay the people that are out there planting the trees. Like, this is a different way, different model than I've ever seen.
Thank you. Exactly. And I appreciate the highlight. That's something that we really truly pride ourselves in doing. Obviously, at the beginning stages, we had to accept volunteers, because that's what everybody's used to doing
Right.
and becoming. But to make something so important, such a big task, volunteer-based, we will never get the results that we wish, right? So everything worth our while, everybody had a value, a perceived value through a price point. And it not only for that, but it's also because it enables us with the business aspect of the expenses, right? Because nonprofit not only, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't generate profit for, or revenues, it's a better word to say it, for your business. You used to have your business expenses, you used to have to pay electricity, you used to have to pay your gas to show up, you used to have to put food on the table of people that want to come and show up and make the world a better place, right? Because otherwise everybody's gonna run out of everything and we're gonna end up burning the candle on both edges. So the incentive here is to really pay the eco soldiers. So far we've been able to afford to do this in Africa, because that's where we can stretch the dollar a little bit longer. But as a matter of fact, we're also receiving money from Africa here in America, believe it or not. It's like something that's never happened before. But I'm giving the opportunity to African companies to also promote their businesses in our website. If they're starting, they have everything, all their ducks in a row with their businesses. With the government, obviously, I need to have a license to make sure they're fully functional. So, it's a little revenue that is still coming from Africa to the US. So how amazing is that, right? It's not like we're always just putting the money out, but it's a full circulation of currency and good energy and helping each other out.
Yeah, and so what you don't know, Alicia, because I did not think of this until just now when you said something, is I actually have an interview this week with an African refining company, and I'm going to introduce you to them because one of the things that they're interested in is helping show the positive side of the oil and gas industry in Africa. Right now in Africa, the oil and gas industry is being demonized like it is in a lot of places in the world. But yes. Until you said that, I didn't even know. So I will make a connection. So this may be a good connection we made live on this interview that I wouldn't have thought of if we wouldn't have done this interview. So it's fantastic you having money flow back and forth. But you also put on events, right, to help educate the world of what you're doing. And I believe you have one coming up at the end of this year?
Yes, absolutely. So one of my goals is educate and also scale, right, or a business model here or nonprofit model, so to speak. So this will be the first time that we'll actually pay eco soldiers here in America, because in the past, as I said, it was mostly in Africa or other countries where our money stretches a little bit more. But now, if we have the good backup support of oil and gas industries and other Fortune 500 companies, it will be easier for us to pay our eco soldiers. So one of my goals is to pay each person $1,000 for that day, making it like $125 per hour, and that's something unheard of. Usually to just cut the trees, $2,500 to $5,000 just to cut one tree. So imagine here we're planting 40 trees in a period of 8 hours for $1,000, and everybody that joins us will get paid this kind of money. And we only need 250 eco soldiers to plant 10,000 trees all in one day. So that's the beauty about and the iconic part of our event that will be so different and so important and so special that people are going to be acknowledged for their effort to try to save the world. And that's going to help us be like a little bit more eco-conscious, but also it's going to enable them to put food on the table for their families, to help plant trees and build a future for many generations.
Now, this audience is predominantly people that work in the oil and gas industry. And one of the first things is they're going to ask is, it sounds like Alicia is a environmentalist, which she is, which, by the way, so am I. But the next thing is, what is your opinion around the oil and gas industry? And before you say anything, let me just say this much, people. Alicia looks at everything as helpful and useful, including hydrocarbons, oil and gas. She's not negative on the industry, and she wants our help. And if you're listening to this and you work for one of the super majors, Exxon, Chevron, BP, and Shell, I have already reached out to your people asking you to donate money to what Alicia's doing. But Alicia, they want to hear it from your mouth, right? So just real quick, you want the oil and gas industry to come help. What is your opinion on our industry?
Yes, well, I think you guys been our life saviors since day one. I mean, you got the world moving around. Thanks to you, we've been able to move from A to B from the longest time, and also just energy or electricity comes from your industry. So it's something that we definitely need to still help guard at all costs. I am not pro like let's all go EVs and renewables and solar power, even though I was in the solar industry too. But to me, it's frightening to just be solar power, just be oil and gas, or just be electric, or just be one thing and not the other. I think that the best way for us to keep a balanced economy and a balanced like resource of power and everything that we need just for our survival as species on Earth, we need to have a portfolio of everything. It's bad to put all the eggs on the same basket, right? So that's kind of what we're trying to do with shifting everything to electric, when that shouldn't be the case. Like especially in the snowy days, right, up in Norway and all these countries, they're trying to put everything electric there, but then all the buses went kaput, like on winter time. Nobody was able to mobilize. So that's where you guys are important to keep having around. And also EV also has, and Tesla, it's a great, source of reducing the carbon emissions, but at the same time, they also have their polluting agents like cobalt, right? And all these things. What are we going to do with the pollution that they're causing too? That's something that is really not being talked about. And I think it's good to emphasize on the pros and cons of everything as a whole, rather than just, let's make these guys the bad guys of the movie, right? Where everybody can be the bad guy if you highlight it enough. So we need to make sure everybody comes on together and just bring the best of each other, but at the same time diminish whatever wrong is being done, like the oil spills. Maybe we can do something better to minimize that from happening, right? That would be like the worst thing in your industry that I can foresee. But it's cleaner. The way you guys outsource everything for us for energy sometimes can be even cleaner than all the pollution we're going to have to deal with from solar, the panels being not disposed properly, and bringing other kinds of problems that we don't know until like years later. So far, your industry has been keeping things balanced, to better or worse, and just because the other agents came to the market, they want to make you guys with the legacy look like the bad guys in the picture, just because they want a little more market share. So I understand that part of the game too.
Yeah. So let's not dog too much on the renewable side, because they have their place too. They're important to our energy mix. But I just want our audience to know that even though you're an environmentalist, you're also very pro oil and gas. And the biggest thing is you're pro human, right? Yeah. All of us wants to live a healthy, prosperous life, and unfortunately, you spoke of Africa. Unfortunately, there's huge populations in this world that have no electricity, that have no running water, that don't have shoes, that don't have medical care, don't have education, and we're trying to fix that here, one step at a time. So, Alicia, I want to get right to the business part. I want to make sure we get people that are watching this let them understand how they can help. So, what are you looking for? So I know I could rattle it off what I think you're looking for, but just tell me how can we help? What can we do to help you?
Thank you. Well, as I said before, like finances are like number one to anything, any type of business, whether it's for profit or nonprofit. I would like to truly be a great source of employment. The oil and gas industry is shedding a lot of employment opportunities, unfortunately, and these people are left without a job, a solid job, because you guys probably provided some of the best and most solid jobs in the entire world to your employees for the longest time. And it's hard to see these people losing it all just because these other industries came and became rivals, instead of really seeing how we can help each other out. And not only that, but AI and robotics, and not only in your industry but many others. So here we're creating jobs for humans. We're not trying to cut costs, and we really see the value in human input for work, and just for social interactions. We need humans to keep ourselves sane in the workplace, in social interactions. So here, that's what we specialize, bringing oil and gas with other even industries to sit together in what we call the love and empathy table, because it's truly that. We wouldn't be together if it wasn't because of the love of Mother Nature and the empathy for each other to create a better world, not only for ourselves, but for future generations. So I see that just Texas alone, your oil and gas industry paid around $26 billion in taxes. Probably you knew these or not, but that's like mind-blowing. So much money. It's good spent. I mean, I read it goes to public schools, it goes to roads, and it also goes to universities, first responders. So, but that's only if you're linked with the IRS, right, and somehow you have ties and you're able to tap into some of that money. But what if you decide to just go directly to an entity like us, and instead of giving $26 billion to the IRS, you give like half of that to us, and it's still gonna be a tax deductible. So instead of $26 billion, you're gonna end up paying $13 billion to the IRS because you pay $13 billion to Global Economy. But you at least know where it all went. And you because you're gonna join our events. That's another thing that we incentivize everybody that gives us any fund, any donation, any sponsorship, to come and roll up their sleeves, put their boots on, and come and let's plant trees together. So you know exactly, yeah, I spent $1 billion on Global Economy, but I joined their event. I see all these beautiful reforestation that they did in Texas, in Dubai, or in all these places we're gonna merge. So our first little baby steps will be this year in December, and hopefully we'll have enough donors to put this together quickly enough. It's gonna be $10 million. It's $1 million per company to make it easier on everyone, just baby steps. Our next one will be $10 million per company in Austin, Texas, because you guys are, you know, the forefront of, you're like the biggest state anyways, with the biggest financial resources. So, and you also had a lot of fires there where we need to put back all these trees. And the next one will be in Dubai, 2026, and that will be our first 1 billion trees, and we're gonna turn literally a whole desert into a forest. So it will be the oil and gas forest at that point. And that's when Dubai and Saudi Arabia and everybody can join us in a much greater scale. So these are our baby steps here in Ocala, Florida in December, and then growing a little bit next year in December as well. Hopefully that year will give us enough time to fundraise 100 million, again 10 million per company. I could go more, but I really want to see how we develop everything little by little, and then be really seasoned to build our 1 billion trees. And then of course the major goal is 8 billion worldwide, and then it's when we're going to ask the help of every single country to really put their best foot forward and help financially, and also with machinery, with people, with engineers, with scientists, with biologists, because we're creating a lot of high-paying jobs here, and that's the beauty about what we bring to the table. It's secure jobs for the long term, and high-paying jobs. Right now, your average salary was around 125,000, 150,000 per year for about 500,000 people, and you lost like 80,000 jobs. So I would love to put those jobs back, or whoever is losing jobs due to either AI or robotics or any reason. We want to be the job maker for humans, so to speak, for the world. And we have 8 billion trees to plant every year. So there's a lot of a lot of brains that we need to bring this to fruition, because right now we're deforesting 15 billion every year. We're only putting back 5 billion. And with Global Economy, we'll be able to do this every year, 8 billions, keeping our pace with the population. We are going to be 9 billion, then we're going to plant 9 billion, or 10 billion, we're going to plant 10 billion. But at least one per person alive every year that goes by.
I love it. And by the way, people, even though she needs the big corporate donors, she talked about, $1 million per company, she also needs everything, right? So if you like me believe in what she's doing, can write her a check for $100, $500, $1,000, anything can help. And then, like she said, she's looking for people. So if you want to jump in here and give Alicia a hand, this industry is full of engineers. It's full of biologists and chemists and environmentalists. If you want to donate a little bit of time, reach out to her. I promise you, she will take your donation. She will talk to you, and she will get you hooked, just like she got me hooked on what she's doing. She's making a difference. It's not academia. This isn't in some university somewhere. She's out there in boots, getting her hands dirty, hair up in a ponytail, planting trees, right there with everybody else. So in the show notes will be links to both her website, and then we'll put Alicia's LinkedIn profile if you want to reach out to her directly personally. But please, people, donate what you can. This is one of those things. It's very rare you see me highlight a charitable organization. This is one of those charitable organizations that OGGN believes in, that OGGN supports, and it's making a difference, and every little bit helps. Alicia, I absolutely love what you're doing, the passion that you have for it. When you get on the phone with her, I promise you, she's going to get you excited about what she's doing, because it's just contagious. Is there anything else that the audience could help you with besides money and people?
Well, I wanted to also highlight the importance that when we're going to start building these gardens, we're going to call them the oil and gas love and hope gardens, or something to that nature. It's going to be very targeted to your industry, but at the same time we're gonna have a little like kiosk where kids can learn in those gardens about everything, oil and gas, renewables, like a little buffet of knowledge, real knowledge, not paid marketing ads of loving or hating one industry versus the other, but really like what attracts this butterfly or what attracts this special insect to this habitat. Was it this tree, was it that tree? How does a fruit grow on a tree? What is it before? Is it a flower? Is it a seed? What is it? So these are like the basic things that are really not taught in schools that we would love to teach here, and at the same time teach about your industry. How is oil made? How, give them a little sample of a mini refinery, something that they can play with there and fall in love even with your industry, no matter what. I think that there is a lot more that we can make these kids do as they grow up, because you're gonna be in for the longest time, and I don't want you going out anytime soon, because again, we need the reliance of what we know. There's better. It's better not so good to be known, but that better to be known, because there is always surprises. You guys have been still steady in the industry in many different fronts, where you show reliability, and I think that's important for us to consider as a human race. You've been reliable, providing or oil to transport each other, and also for energy, or electricity, and we would like to also make sure that these gardens have some form of recognition, like a plaque, we can even do a statue there with the name of all the participants on that planting the tree, and who also were or helping sponsors or donors or funders. So that's gonna be a legacy for the longest time. Everybody's gonna come 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, yeah, this whole forest was built by Chevron, believe it or not, or Exxon, or BP, or Shell, whoever decided, and hopefully will be built by all of them. Kind of like I was able to say all the Fortune 500 companies that came and joined us, so nobody's left out, helping to save the world, because as I said, everybody's part of the pollution, every single one since we're born, and that we can all be part of the solution. So with that amazing income and this huge tax that is being paid out, if we can allocate some of those funds to all these amazing things that we're trying to do and build. And not only that, as I said, we're trying to take trash out of the ocean and also convert that into either reusable, like plastic, like furniture, or even synthetic oil for cars. And that's something where I wanted to reach out to oil and gas to see if we can make an agreement. We're gonna take so many tons of trash or plastic from the ocean that you can just it's ready for you to reuse, instead of having to extract that from earth from scratch. So that will save you a little bit of money on your raw materials, and at the same time will help save the earth. So that was my extra.
Alicia, just literally beautiful. We're going to go ahead and end it right here. Like I said, everybody, the links will be in the show notes for everything that she's doing. Alicia, from the bottom of my heart, number one, thank you for doing what you're doing. And also thank you for coming on the show. Come on, people. Hit the links. Write her a check. Give her a call. Volunteer. Help. This is important, and it's important in a real way where it's actually making a difference. To Alicia's point, this isn't some marketing fluff somewhere. But Alicia, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it again from the bottom of my heart as well, because you're giving me the biggest microphone I ever had in my entire life to the best audience that can listen to me and really make a difference and impact with me. And everybody will be proud. I have heard zero complaints so far. Everybody's super happy that they took that one step forward to join us and see how beautiful our trees are growing, how clean our beaches and rivers are, because everybody decided to say, you know what, I'm gonna take this opportunity to be a good human, to be a good business owner, to be a good millionaire, billionaire, and really give from the heart to something that really is meaningful, and it's gonna go full circle in positivity and goodwill for the world.
Love it.
So thank you
All
so
right.
much.
We're out of here, folks. We will see you next time.